It's January 20th, 2025. Let's get started. The first thing I wanted to talk about today is like sort of the staleness of sports. And, first of all, let me preface by saying I love sports. Like, it's watching sports is, my main activity in my free time. And I schedule sometimes my social life around what big games are on. But as I've watched more and more sports, and I've been watching for like 19 years, as far as I can remember, probably before that too. As I've watched that many years of sports, it feels like I've seen all sorts of scenarios. I've seen a lot of March Madness buzzer beaters. I've seen NBA game winners in the playoffs. I've seen NFL last minute drives, the 13-second Kansas City beating Buffalo. I've seen CFP natties, last minute prem goals. I've seen all these crazy events, right? And I feel like I'm reaching the point at which the events just get less and less exciting in the sense that I've already seen analogous last minute buzzer beaters and finishes, unexpected comebacks and upsets, etc. to the point where it's just not as fresh. And so, like right now, on the screen, it's like Ohio State's Will Howard breaks the CFP record. Yeah, that's a cool achievement, right? But in my mind, with having seen so many games, seen so many records fall, like it just doesn't mean anything to me anymore. I've seen this Ohio State team. I've seen more dominant teams like Joe Burrow's LSU or Mac Jones' Alabama play. So basically, it's like, yeah, the records keep happening, the national titles keep happening, but just not as interesting as it once used to be. But still, amongst my favorite things in the world. The second thing I wanted to talk about is like the concept of Sunday blues, and I want to talk about it because I'm feeling it right now. Like even though today's Monday in the United States, it's MLK Day, so it's given off, and tomorrow I have to go back to work, and it's like I always like to say that my least favorite day of the week is Sunday, and my favorite day of the week is Thursday, because let's face it, on Friday you don't do that much. Like you can get work done, but there's the expectation that the weekend is right around the corner on Thursday and Friday is more low key because of that. But Sunday, it's like you can't even fully enjoy your day off because you're mentally getting back into the frame of mind to work on Monday. And so it's like from 6 p.m. onwards, from what I've noticed, it's like my head is elsewhere. Like half of it's, trying to enjoy and relax, but the other half is like mentally cataloging what I have to do tomorrow, who I have to talk to, and sort of just dreading it. And so, yeah, and so that's pretty unhealthy. And there might be a couple of issues behind that, like my job is one of them. But in general, this idea that I'm dreading the work week, when that's happening, you're just never gonna have a good Monday or work week. So it's something to work on, something to think about. If there's anybody watching this video, suggestions would be welcome. The third thing I want to talk about is dopamine, and I guess Reddit is like another example here too. It's like one of my New Year's resolutions was I was going to minimize the usage of YouTube Shorts as much as possible in order to see how much time I would free up. And, so far, having not watched YouTube Shorts, I found that I've gravitated towards more long form content instead. But also, I have more time to do things like read or, just learn new concepts, uh, sleep earlier, all of those things. But what I've also noticed is that my concentration time span, even just in these 3 weeks of experimenting, has risen. Like I'm able to, watch videos on math that I would not have been able to before just because they were so boring. I'm able to read books for longer. I'm able to just sit there without fiddling on my phone for longer. And so I'm starting to think that, I'm resetting my dopamine glands, I guess. They were so out of sync just because of my obsession with scrolling on YouTube Shorts that like I think I'm able to enjoy more regular things now. And so I'm curious to see if this is a placebo effect or if 3, 4, 5 months down the line it's going to be even better. But I'm going to try to continue with not using YouTube Shorts as much. And the next step, I guess, is to cut out Instagram, and then the final frontier, probably going to take an act of God to do, is cut out Reddit, just because I spend a lot of time scrolling on Reddit as well. But Reddit is just it's just so interesting to watch, and I'll do a video on Reddit and how sad it is another day. But for the time being, in the context of dopamine, it really does do a good job. Yeah, that's all.